politicians in studio. Sometimes we have athletes in studio. We have newsmakers. Now we have everybody in studio. In the voice of Frank Caliendo, the amazing impressionist and comedian. It is amazing how many different voices you do that sound just like the people sound.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to disagree with you. There's pretty great stuff that I do. Well, you're talking about senators and stuff like that. Yeah. One of our senators from Arizona, John McCain. My friends, we must do this together, my friends. I said we were doing like the Tonight Show together one time, and I'm like, you sure do have a lot of friends. Not quite enough. So,
how long does it take you to get a voice down?
It's always different. The thing I was known for the sports stuff originally, the John Madden, how many do this, talk like this, boom, that kind of thing. And then I started, it was such a male-dominated audience that I wanted to cross over and do a little bit more. So one of the things that I realized is that the politicians, presidents, and stuff like that, that was something that could get everybody involved. I became known as a guy who could do a George Bushification. I could speak, whatever. Of course, Bill Clinton just has that smoothness that is just so good. It's great to see you guys, especially you ladies here. And then with President Obama, which I've been working on, is that I know, or what I've seen, I could even teach you the cadence, is with President Obama, if you listen closely, he talks slow at the beginning and speeds up at the end, right? It's always like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Be great teaching you a phone number, like 8, 6, 7, 5309. That's Jenny's number. You better.
Back to Bill Clinton, aren't we?
It's always as circular. The circular laugh. I love being me. This is great.
Tell us what Charles Barkley might be saying about last night's game.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a very big deal in the NBA. LeBron James is very good. Now, there's knuckleheads around him. When they play better, they have a chance. And that's why LeBron went to the Heat, to get away from being the only guy in Cleveland that could score. And now he's having trouble with some of his guys. If they put it together, they're going to be pretty good.
Now, you've done Barkley standing right next to him.
Oh yeah. And it was just recently for a charity for the Phoenix Suns. And it was set up that I was going to do a little bit of the impression, do some more stuff, and then do him at the end. And he was going to come up and make fun of me a little bit. We'd set it up beforehand, and then 2 minutes into the beginning, he's up there on stage with me. He's like, "Don't you have anything better to do than sit around pretending to be me?" And I looked at him like, "Don't be ridiculous." And so then I'm like, "What are you doing up here? We're supposed to be up here for another 20 minutes." He's like, "I couldn't take it anymore. Everybody said you got to go up there and defend yourself." I know we had a plan. You were gonna defend yourself. So, but he's a great guy. And, he was going to run for office a while ago. You remember that?
Yeah, wasn't he going to be governor of Mississippi or something?
And then he had some problems. DUI.
His explanation, but we can't talk about that on a family radio station. Is there anyone who got really ticked off at your impression?
I don't. John Madden didn't like me for a while, I don't think. But when I met him, I met him at the Super Bowl a few years ago, and it was that look when he saw me. It was like when Shaggy and Scooby see the bad guy pop out of the barrel, like zoinks, like let's get out of here, ruh-roh. It was terrible. But I made his grandkids laugh, and that was what turned it around. And once he saw that I was just this normal kind of guy. It made a little bit more sense to him. So, I was supposed to meet. I was at the Super Bowl a couple years ago, same Super Bowl in Dallas. Former President Bush was sitting up there with John Madden. They kept showing him the Super Bowl. I was standing behind him. I actually met Laura Bush that day. He's like, "We saw you on television the other day. That was fantastic." I'm like, "Well, but they wouldn't let me. I got past the Secret Service and let me through and everything. And I was up there in Jerry Jones's box, but they didn't want to ask him to turn around. And, all I had to do was like, 'Hey, that's Caddy Adondo, man. Bring him over.' This would be good. 'Yeah, I just met him in the lobby. He made my grandkids laugh. This is fantastic.'"
You're like a jukebox. You press a button and you go from one to the other. It's amazing.
And it's all narrated by Morgan Freeman. That's when the audience realized that Frank Caliendo had no control over what he was doing. It's the Robin Williams theory of comedy. If you don't have a joke, you just switch once. And then we're dancing back. Okay.
Nice.
Who knew?
Wow. When did you start doing this? Were you a kid?
Yeah, I'm still that height.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Yeah, a little bit. Did impressions of teachers and stuff like that. I would watch Rich Little growing up, and then I went to school for broadcast journalism, and I didn't want to work for real, and I've been working about 10 times as hard ever since. But just having I have a little bit of an ear for it, I guess, and I work at it. I just force myself to listen to things over and over and over, and I can't always get it, but it's pretty good.
It's pretty close. You're gonna be at the Improv tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here all weekend. The Sunday show is the only thing that has a couple of tickets left. You know, we're traveling, walking around DC. I brought my family with me. We're gonna go.
That's awesome.
We're gonna go lobby a little bit.
For Washington Tree.
Come on, kids. Let's put on your sad faces. Let's get some money. No, but we're gonna. It's really interesting. We met somebody from I met somebody from the Capitol. We had a Capitol tour, but it was canceled for some reason. So I think somebody's going to be able to get us in there. I'm going to Walter Reed. I'm on the way to Walter Reed right now. After this, to go see some of the wounded guys. I've done that before. And just recently, a guy. And I feel terrible because I never remember his name, and I always want to remember his name. He's the first vet I ever met.
Right.
And he's actually signed a picture for me at this thing. He gave me the picture, so my brother has the picture right now. But that's how nice of a person I am. I can't remember his name. But he was
he gave the picture to his brother.
I remember, yeah. Well, I had to have it sent back. It was because it was in a frame, and I didn't want to throw it on a plane and stuff like that. So, I saw him and I recognized him, and he'd gained a little bit of weight, and he's been living a good life in Indiana. Yeah. But he was the first guy I ever met, and I said the thing that I say to these guys, most of them, because it's the truth. I say, I could never do what you do or have done because I am way too selfish of a human being. And the look I get from some guys is the most important thing, because you can tell they give this look, like this guy especially. I was like, what's wrong? He goes, nobody ever tells us the truth. They always tell us, I wish I was there. I'm like, no, I don't wish I was there. I'm glad you're this guy. I'm glad you can do this. You guys can, and ladies can do this, because I can't. Right. So thank you very much to all them. I really appreciate it.
So there is still some tickets for Sunday night's DC Improv Comedy Club.
Yeah.
A few tickets, and that's it, right?
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter, at Frank Caliendo. If you can't spell Caliendo, it's the letter C, the word alien, and the word do. So at Frank C. Alien do. That's a mnemonic device.
And if we have trouble getting Bill Clinton next week to come in, will you come on?
We got some ideas.
No, we
no,
can't. The smile is so good.
Twitter now.
Don't I know it? I got to change what I've been sending out.
Frank, it's great seeing you.
You are terrific. Thanks a lot.
Tonight. Quick check of Money News.